The next tool on the list is the lasso tool. And with this tool you can freehand a selection shape. Again, if we're inside this, we can move the selection. If we go into the move tool, we can cut out the selection. We can also add to the selection, and using the Alt key we can take away from the selection. And we go to select, deselect. These selection tools, they all work in a very similar fashion. They just give you the ability to create different selection sets. If we click on the lasso tool and hold the cursor of the left mouse button down, we've got the lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, and a magnetic lasso tool. The polygonal lasso tool will give you a shape, clicking, move, click, like it says, gives you a shape, any shape you want, but it draws a direct line from everywhere you click. Again, you can use the shift to add to that selection, and the Alt key to minus or take away from the selection. Then we go to select, deselect, Control Z to undo, Control D to deselect. And the magnetic lasso tool. Now this can be quite a useful tool. If we wanted to cut as close as possible to the duck from the white background, we go on the magnetic lasso tool. It will distinguish between pixels of a different value and try and draw a selection at the point of change. Up here in the tools options, you have various things that you can alter how it defines the edge of the magnetic lasso tool. The edge contrast is probably the most important. The smaller the figure, the tighter the change. So if we leave it at 10%, we should be able to get quite an accurate selection right round the outline of the duck. We don't have to be too careful about this, as it will spring to the point of the pixel change. As you can see, if I pull it too far, it will. If I'm generally in the area, it does a pretty good job of following the outline of the duck. Obviously this will only work in certain scenarios. As you come to the beginning, or where you started from, you see the little 0 appear. That means it's going to join, and you have that selection set. Now where it's jumped here means that the edge and the white were within 10%, but as soon as it worked there, when I pulled my cursor out just to show you, if we click Alt, we can minus, and we can get a tighter by going closer to the line. And effectively correct. Slight error. Not perfect, but if we go to edit, cut, edit, paste, you can see But the duck now is in its new layer. We'll name it duck. It's in a layer all on its own. We've cut it from the background, which is quite useful. So if we click now on layer 1 and we come down here, if you hover your mouse over it, it says it's like a paper with a fold over it. If you keep your mouse over it, it will say create new layer. If we click that, whichever layer is selected, it will create a new layer above that layer. So now we have our initial background layer that we've removed the duck from. We have a blank layer, and we have the layer with the duck on. Where it's highlighted in blue, that's the layer we're working on. So, for instance, if I was to paint over the duck, you can see that I've actually painted on the same layer as the duck. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to click on this layer, go to the paint bucket tool, choose a colour, and I'm going to flood the layer with that colour. So now the yellow duck is on an orange background.